On June 30th, the MCK received word from outside media that 5 Kahnawake have mandated the Center for Research Action on Race Relations to act on their behalf in terms of the membership residency issue. According to their press release, the CRARR will soon begin to file complaints with the Human Rights Commission, claiming that many policies and practices of the Kahnawake Band Council, including the failure to protect Mohawk and biracial individuals and families from intimidation and threats of violence, are in violation of the Canadian Human Rights Act. The incident once again brings to the forefront the issues that have been in the community for the past year or so. We spoke to Grand Chief Joe Norton for comment. CRARR issued a notice. Actually, we didn't get it, but through the outside media, that several community members are taking us to the Human Rights Commission, I guess. So some comments on what's transpired in the last 24 hours.
Well, I don't normally, as a practice, I don't normally answer to unknowns. In other words, somebody says, you know, that this has been said, this has been done, this has been direction has been taken. If we don't know who they are, then, you know, generally I'll just disregard it. But in this situation, since it's out there in the public, there's a need to clear up, you know, the circumstances and pretty much, you know, stick with the situation as it stands in terms of the residency issue in Kahnawake, and as opposed to the image that we're being portrayed as being a racist community. It's more of a position that has been taken. It's been long-standing, goes back well over 150 years ago, if not longer than that. You know, prior to having the Indian Act in the community, when this community was governed by a traditional government, that was always a position that was taken.
One of the things in their press release, which they finally issued, was that some of these residents from Kahnawake claiming that the Kahnawake Band Council is failing to protect Mohawk and biracial individuals and families from intimidation and threats of violence in violation of the Canadian Human Rights Act. So some comments on that.
Well, that's totally false, because even though I've only been here for 2 weeks, the election was on June 20th, I remember seeing quite clearly the positions that was taken by the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake to say to the community very clearly on a consistent basis that any kind of retaliatory actions or anything that would cause harm or create chaos or anything would not be tolerated, and asking community members please to respect the privacy and the dignity of individuals in the community, regardless of the position they have taken. So this is totally false. We've always been, you know, people of peace in all instances, and to make clear that this is not an MCK or Mohawk Council of Kahnawake position solely. It's backed by the fact that the people of the community, and I mentioned it now, you know, well over 150 years ago, that's been a position all along, that non-native residency is not necessarily accepted in the community, only under certain circumstances. And at one time, these things circumstances weren't written down anywhere. It was an oral traditional customary type of understanding that we had, family to family, generation to generation. Now, since 1981, it's been in writing, it's been there, you know, and that's what potentially causes the problems when you actually see it on paper, you know.
In closing, is there anything you want to say to the community at this point, based on where we're at in this current situation?
Yes, I really appreciate the opportunity to return and take a position here as the Grand Chief. And one of the promises that I made was to deal with this issue of membership or residency, and to make sure that we instill certain elements, key elements that community has always demanded, and that we do this in a very peaceful, orderly fashion, not through not through constant demonstrations and things of that nature. We hope that people will come on board with that, and support the movement, support the ideas, and support the kinds of subject matter that we put out there and the way we'd like to do these things. That's basically, I think, the bottom line as far as what I would like to convey to the community.